Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to get into a story that seems so simple on the surface, but is actually packed with some pretty fascinating ideas about how we all operate in public. It's the story of a man, a sign, and the surprising social earthquake it caused. Yup, we are talking about the Free Hugs campaign.
So let's just jump right in with a quick question for you. Think about the last time you were in a really crowded space, maybe a busy street, a shopping mall, or even just walking down the hall at school. What are the rules you follow without even realizing you're following them?
Right? We all just know them. You don't get into someone's personal bubble, you don't make long, weird eye contact, and the big one, you absolutely do not just go around touching people you don't know. It's like this invisible social code that keeps everything running smoothly.
And this is where it gets really interesting. What happens when somebody decides to just step right over those invisible lines? Not to be a jerk or cause problems, but to offer something genuinely positive.
So let's set the scene. Picture this guy, Juan Man, standing in the middle of a busy public square, and all he has is this piece of cardboard with two words on it: free hugs. That's it. He was breaking one of our biggest public rules: don't touch strangers.
So how did people react at first? Well, pretty much exactly how you'd guess. They pretended he wasn't there. People would walk by, quickly look away. You could see the confusion and even the discomfort on their faces. It was like their internal alarms about personal space were just blaring.
Okay, so let's hit pause on the story for just a second and really think about this. Why was this simple, kind offer of a hug so weird? Why did it make everyone hesitate? The answer is all about those invisible forces that guide pretty much everything we do.
And what we're talking about here are social norms. Think of them as the unwritten rule book for life that we all get a copy of. They're the rules that tell us how to act so we can fit in, so people think we're normal, and honestly, just so we can all get along without things getting super awkward. And this chart really lays out the conflict, doesn't it? On one side, you've got our standard public playbook: keep your distance, avoid touching, maintain that personal space. And on the other side, you have the free hug sign doing the exact opposite. It was asking for close contact, offering physical touch, and trying to create connection. It was a direct challenge to that entire rulebook.
Now in sociology, there's a word for this: deviance. It's any action that violates those social norms. And I know that word can sound kind of negative, right? But it doesn't have to be. All it means is that something is different from what's expected. And in that moment, offering a stranger a hug was, believe it or not, a deviant act. So how did this whole thing go from being weird and awkward to not? Well, like any good story, there was a turning point. After a long time of just being ignored, something finally changed. One person decided to step out of the crowd and actually accept the hug.
And this is the absolute key to understanding what happened next. It wasn't like one person got a hug and then a few minutes later another person did. No, it was a sudden shift. That very first hug was like a green light for everybody else who was watching. It was like it gave them social permission.
You can almost see the ripple effect happening in real time. First, you have the deviant act, the offer for a hug, which creates all this tension and uncertainty. Then, the first follower bravely steps in and basically tells everyone else, hey, this is okay, it's safe. And boom, just like that, the risk is gone and conformity kicks in. Suddenly, everyone feels comfortable enough to join the group.
What we're witnessing here are these massive sociological forces at play. Conformity isn't just about high school peer pressure. It's about how we constantly look to the people around us for clues on how to act. And once the group's behavior switched from avoid him to hug him, the floodgates just opened.
But this super simple experiment actually opens up some much bigger, way more complicated questions. Because it's not just about what rule gets broken, it's also about who gets to break it.
And this is where we have to start thinking like sociologists. You have to ask, does the person's identity matter? Oh, absolutely. Our own biases can totally change how we see and act like this. So why was this specific act of deviance accepted? Well, because the intent was so clearly positive and harmless. But it also shows us there's a fine line, right? An act of kindness can start to feel uncomfortable or even creepy the second it feels like it's pushing past your personal boundaries.
So this is a tough question we kind of have to ask ourselves. And be really honest here. Would your reaction change depending on who was holding that sign? Your gut answer to that question says a lot, you know?
It shows us our own hidden biases and the stereotypes that society has kind of baked into us.
So all of this brings the whole conversation right back to us, to you. If one simple hug can challenge a major social norm, what other norms out there might be worth questioning, for good reason?
I mean, think about it. What about the norm that says vulnerability, especially for men, is some kind of weakness? A single act of emotional honesty could be a small step towards changing that.
Or what about all the cliques that pop up in schools or offices, Just deciding to sit with someone new at lunch or including someone from a different group in a conversation, that's a small act that pushes back directly against the norm of exclusion.
And this, of course, brings us right back to where we started. The idea that it's strange to be kind to a stranger. The Free Hugs campaign was really a head-on challenge to that very idea. It suggested that maybe connection, not distance, should be our natural starting point. It's really easy to forget in all this. The viral videos, the movement that spread around the globe, this whole conversation we're having right now. It all started with just one person. One person with one simple, rule-breaking idea.
And that really leaves us with this one big, powerful question. The story of the Free Hugs campaign seems to suggest that maybe, just maybe, one small, kind, and maybe even deviant act at a time, it absolutely can. So, what do you think?